Hello and welcome to using functions to organize programs. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn some best practices in terms of trying to make our code as manageable and readable as possible. Now, to illustrate my point, this is 3 of our programs pasted in below. And it looks a little chaotic, even to someone as familiar with Python as myself. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to pack it into 3 functions and introduce a menu. We're going to discuss the importance of descriptive naming for these functions because to a third person looking at our code, it should make more sense if we choose really appropriate names. And finally, we're going to create a main function, which is, in a way, an overview of the whole program that isn't very, very long. Okay, let's get started. So, first of all, let's discuss what we have here. Maybe create some spacing. So if I can skip the line skipping and just have 3 blocks of code. So this is our custom greeting program. And factorization, custom greeting, times table. So in order to arrange it in some kind of order, we should have it the same as the menu. So maybe we'll do some copying and pasting later. But what we can do is be able to access any one of these 3 blocks of code by calling a function. So let's create these functions. So what is this one? Def factorization. Now, normally you would enter a number there as a parameter, but I mean, we already have this thing which asks the user for a number, so we don't need that. And remember, we're just organizing this code, not rewriting it. So that's going to be factorization. That's going to be def computer greetings. It's greeting by a computer. Kind of instinctive, and that needs a semicolon, very important. It's indented, so whatever is indented after the semicolon is the function. Whatever is indented after the semicolon is the function. And here is the times table. Okay. Well, looks a lot better already. You kind of see that on top level there's 3 things: factorization, computer greeting, and times table. So up here we can create a bit of a menu. Print, please make your selection by entering a number. I'm sure if you remember DOS, you will have seen some of these. Print, press 1 for. Do we do it this way? No, I think I'll put computer greeting first. Computer greeting. So if computer greeting is going to be number 1, we can cut, paste that there. And I think we can make times table number 2, cut, paste that there. Maybe have 2 spaces. So 2 for times table, press 3 for, what was it? Factorization. Okay. Lovely. So now we can say choice equals the input. Now choice is going to be saved as a string. Your selection. So when we're writing this if statement, we should say something like this: if choice double equals to 1 in quotation marks. Otherwise, we'd have to convert it to an integer, but there's no need to convert it. So we've got if choice is 1, what is it? Computer greeting. Now, we can do if else, but the else will then give you a factorization if you enter Bob. And maybe we will just... We're going to do the basic one and see how we go with time. I may just do a little upgrade. So if choice is 1, computer greeting. If choice is 2, choice is 3, 2, 3. So times table was 2. And factorization was 3. So what we have here is a program that's not quite going to work yet, and I will explain why. I'm going to run it, in fact, and I want a times table. And it says times table is not defined. That's because when we call in the times table, the Python interpreter hasn't seen it yet. So if we put this at the bottom and run it, enter a number, 7, and wow, it does a big times table. Times table up to 700, I think. So that works, but that's kind of weird to look at. You got all these functions and then your program runs at the bottom. So the trick to doing this in a neat way is to have a main function. So I'm going to cut that and I'll show you what I mean by that, right? So, and this is like almost a standard in programming. So we're going to have a function called main. And this is like a top level view of our program. So in the main, this is what's going to happen. We're going to give these 3 options and run a different function for each option. Now this isn't going to run quite yet, but remember at the bottom, when the computer has read all the functions, this is where we can call main. Right at the bottom, the very last line of code. And all of a sudden, this is going to work beautifully. 358. 1. I always keep picking numbers that are very close to prime. Lovely. So there you have it. That chaos has turned into order. You have an overview of the program, you've got your 3 options here, and the 3 possibilities are quite clearly defined by very, very useful function names. I would almost say this whole program is so clear, we don't need to create any comments. Okay, that's all for now. See you in the next tutorial. Hello there. Good to see you watching these things all the way to the end. Make sure you don't miss any of them, so the subscribe button is going to be bang there. The playlist for Python Fundamentals, the series you're right now watching, right there. And a whole host of other different Python videos you may want to check out over here. Happy viewing. See you later.